Welcome. This is Recidiva. I'm sharing a recording of a casual Skyrim playthrough using a mod list I built. My profound thanks to all the mod creators who have made this game a crowdsourced treasure. I hope you enjoy. Talk, terrible beast. The terrible beast is a raccoon? Its hand appears to be stuck in between the rocks. After freeing him, I found the Windcaller relic stashed inside the rocks. Now I can continue exploring the passage. Hello, baby. Come on, terrible beast. Come on. Come on. He'll follow. Hi, honey. Look at how awesome that model is. Hello. Come on, how could you not love having a raccoon? Unfortunately, he doesn't end up being a follower. I was so hopeful. I wanted a raccoon follower really badly, but alas, missed opportunity. Yeah! Listen to your awesome chitter. Okay, as if I know something, here I'm going to turn the difficulty down. What follows is... Okay, so I'm going to switch it to novice. Turn it back after, but this part is really buggy and out of balance. You get hit by poison. So you can see my health go down. I'll be able to manage it. But if the difficulty were higher, it would just, it's nearly instant kill. It's very, very difficult to keep up. So watch the raccoon. And sometimes the raccoon gets buggy and doesn't actually do anything, and you can hang out here until all your potions are gone and you are dead. Alright. I don't blame the raccoon at all, because he's the best. Alright, turn the difficulty back up. And continue on. Oh, my poor dog Bo is having a tough day. He hurt his paw. And now he's hiding because he's afraid. Oh, he's been hiding behind chairs and he's just about to make it to a dog bed and lay down. Poor baby. He's scared of everything. He sounds like the Hound of the Baskervilles, but he's afraid of everything. And he hurt his paw and he doesn't understand. So if you hear me telling him he's a good boy. Okay, he made it to his bed. Poor baby.
Well, well, what have we here?
Hello,
Wait.
baby.
That's the terrible beast
I
that
love
Hamatoria
you.
running.
Yes, look at your smile.
What, that? Latoria is so humiliated.
How amusing.
Well, don't feel too bad, Latoria. That little critter had this one running just as fast for the hills.
Oh, I did not. Anyway, it was shrieking like a devil, it was. We all ran for it.
Well, I suppose that is true. It seems this little guy has taken quite a liking to you, Guildmaster.
Yeah, we love each other.
What do you say we
Don't
give
we,
him a
baby?
proper name?
What about Fafnir?
I love you,
Well, I say,
Fafnir.
that sounds like a pretty good name.
Yeah.
I like that name.
Yes, that's quite fitting. Fafnir was a dragon known for his greed, and our little friend here has certainly shown an affinity for shiny things.
Great, then it's settled. Fafnir it is.
Fafnir.
Well, I don't know about all of you, but I am ready to return to the guild with our spoils and start cataloguing our finds. Not to mention get a little rest and relaxation before our next big outing.
I'm all for that.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, I am by
Well,
nature
We'll get things packed
an
up
animal
here,
lover
Guildmaster, if
and
you want to meet up at the
empathetic
guild house.
being.
And
So,
thanks for all your help.
although I do have a brain that can think evil and play evil pretty well, there are aspects to certain games that there are certain things I can't do no matter how evil that I get. Mass Effect spoiler, but there is a in my Renegade run through
Interesting.
for Mass Effect, there is one thing I absolutely could not do. So mute me for about a minute if you don't want a Mass Effect spoiler, but there is a DLC that features an autistic young man who is tortured. And you have an option to betray him and continue on torturing him or to release him. And I absolutely cannot do it. The only thing that I can do with my Renegades is decide I'm just not going to do that DLC because I cannot take that action. Not just because I'm an empathetic being, but because my son is on the autism spectrum. Now, he's a gamer savant, and he was about maybe 14 or so when I was playing Mass Effect and this came up, and I was just telling him there was one section of the game I couldn't get through because I couldn't turn this kid over, and he very solemnly told me, "Mommy, I'll do that for you if it's tough for you." And I ugly cried for about 2 hours. Because he's so used to getting through tough things for me. But yeah, there are some things I absolutely cannot do. Dragon Age Inquisition, the other thing I did actually do. So if you don't want a Dragon Age Inquisition spoiler, mute me for about a minute. But you can feed Alistair to a nightmare and leave him behind. And I kept promising I would do it, I have to do it, I can do it. I think it took me 9 times because I kept getting in there and instead going, nope, can't do it. And so I can do a lot of bad things, but there are some things in games that I'm simply incapable of. And this is the kind of thing, if I were to play like an evil character that was like, oh, fuck you, you loud little obnoxious thing, I would be so sad. So, yeah. Oh my god. They've already left, haven't they? Okay. Aw, man. Okay. I think I might be able to just do this. Okay, yeah. Those are the ice shards. You can talk to Orion. Let's see if he's still there. Yes, he's still there. Okay. God, I love that raccoon.
Latoria greets you.
Discover anything interesting?
With so many books you gave her, Latoria was able to discover a few things. Here, take a look.
Okay, more treasure maps. That's always good.
What can Latoria do for you, Guildmaster?
I have some rune books for you.
Ah, excellent. Let's see what you have found. Ah, good, good. It will take some time to decipher these. Come back tomorrow and Latoria will let you know what she has found.
Okay. Gonna open up the treasure maps. Hey, honey. Yeah. Later on, he'll get named to Fafnir, and then I'll add him to my petable list of monsters. Yeah, so I've certainly written very evil, horrific characters, but I really don't like playing them. I'm gonna go back to Whiterun and visit my babies. And even in writing, I find that when I leave something unresolved on an evil,
Be
like,
glad you're here in the city.
not necessarily a happy ending, but a really brutal ending, there is a part of my brain that will worry at it and
You're
worry
someone
at
who
it
can get things done.
and worry
I
at
like
it
that.
until I figure out how to, in theory, fix it. So, yeah, I like fixing things, not making them worse. And I would say the best game where it was the easiest to roleplay a bad guy that was really smart was Knights of the Old
You
Republic.
get a bit quicker every time.
He thinks I'm picking locks. I live here, sweetheart. Knights of the Old Republic was really smart. It wasn't like this game where you end up, like everybody knows that you're an assassin, which I find like ridiculous. You were able to set up
Let me know when you're ready.
scapegoats. It was complicated. You could appear to be a paragon while being evil. And that's really the best way to play or be evil. And that was great. Most of these games now where everybody just knows you're evil is not good. Hello, baby. I miss you. I love you. Wish I could bring Fafnir home, but I can't. Hello, sweetheart. Hey. Hi, Kaidan.
Hello, love.
Come on, love. I need you with me.
I will never leave your side.
Thank you. I know I have to ask you sometimes
Everything all right?
to leave my side,
Come
but
here,
I don't
you.
wanna. You guys are so cute. Welcome home, you guys. I still need to fix his height. I think it's a high heels thing. But if you get the right camera angle, it looks right. Yeah, he needs to be just a couple inches higher.
What's the point in having a bucket if you're not gonna shit in it?
I can't. Do I still have buckets? Do I have a bucket, man? Azura and the Box. Ancient Tales of the Dwemer, Part 11, by Marabar Swoo. Akilbar had enjoyed an adventurous youth, but had grown to be a very wise, very old Dwemer who spent his life searching for the truth and dispelling superstitions. He invented much and created many theorems and logical structures that bore his name. But much of the world still puzzled him, and nothing was a greater enigma to him than the nature of the Aedra and Daedra. Over the course of his research, he came to the conclusion that many of the gods were entirely fabricated by man and mare. Nothing, however, was a greater question to Nilshbar. Oh, it's not Eichelbar, it's Nilshbar. Well, that's very hard to tell. Than the limits of divine power. Were the greater beings the master of the entire world, or did the humbler creatures have the strength to forge their own destinies? As Nilshbar found himself nearing the end of his life, he felt he must understand this last basic truth. Among the sage's acquaintances was a holy Khmer priest named Ethinic. When the priest was visiting Bethalthag Zurance, okay. Nichelbar told him what he intended to do to find the nature of the divine power. Ethinic was terrified and pleaded with his friend not to break this great mystery, but Nichelbar was resolute. Finally, the priest agreed to assist out of love for his friend, though he feared the results of his blasphemy. Ethinic summoned Azura. After the usual rituals by which the priest declared his faith in her powers and Azura agreed to do no harm to him, Nichelbar and a dozen of his students entered the summoning chamber, carrying with him a large box. As we see you in our land, Azura, you are the goddess of the dusk and dawn and all the mysteries therein, said Nichelbar, trying to appear as kindly and obsequious as he could be. It is said that your knowledge is absolute. So it is, smiled the Daedra. You would know, for example, what is in this wooden box, said Nichelbar. Azura turned to Ethinic, her brow furrowed. The priest was quick to explain, Goddess, this Dwemer is a very wise and respected man. Believe me, please, the intention is not to mock your greatness, but to demonstrate it to the scientist and to the rest of the skeptical race. I have tried to explain your power to him, but his philosophy is such that he must see it demonstrated. If I am to demonstrate my might in a way that brings the Dwemer race to understanding, it might have been a more impressive feat that you would have me do, growled Azura, and turned to look Nichelbar in the eyes. There is a red-petaled flower in the box. Nichelbar did not smile or frown. He simply opened the box and revealed to all that it was empty. When the students turned to look to Azura, she was gone. Only Ethinic had seen the goddess's expression before she vanished, and he could not speak. He was trembling so. A curse had fallen, he knew that truly, but even crueler was the knowledge of the divine power that had been demonstrated. Nichelbar also looked pale, uncertain on his feet, but his face shone with not fear, but bliss, the smile of a Dwemer finding evidence for a truth only suspected. 2 of his students supported him, and 2 more supported the priest as they left the chamber. I have studied very much over the years, performed countless experiments, taught myself 1,000 languages, and yet the skill that has taught me the final truth is the one that I learned when I was but a poor young man, trying only to have enough gold to eat, whispered the sage. As he was escorted up the stairs to his bed, a red flower petal fell from the sleeve of his voluminous robe. Nichelbar died that night, a portrait of peace that comes from contented knowledge. Publisher's note. This is another tale whose origin is unmistakably Dwemer. Again, the words of some Aldmeris translations are quite different, but the essence of the story is the same. The Dunmer have a similar tale about Nichelbar, but in the Dunmer version, Azura recognizes the trick and refuses to answer the question. She slays the Dwemer present for their skepticism and curses the Dunmer for blasphemy. It's a little extreme, don't you think? Even the good guys, they kind of suck. In the Aldmeris versions, Azura is tricked not by an empty box, but by a box containing a sphere which somehow becomes a flat square. Of course, the Aldmeris version, being a few steps closer to the original Dwemer, are much more difficult to understand. Perhaps this stage magic explanation was added by Guar Felim because Felim's own experience with such tricks in his plays when a mage was not available. Mara Barsul left even the characters of Nichelbar alone, and he represents many Dwemer virtues. His skepticism, while not nearly as absolute as the Aldmeris version, is celebrated, even though it brings a curse upon the Dwemer and the unnamed house of the poor priest. Whatever the true nature of the gods, and how right or wrong the Dwemer were about them, this tale might explain why the dwarves vanished from the face of Tamriel. Though Nichelbar and his kind may not have intended to mock the Aedra and Daedra, their skepticism certainly offended the divine orders. Or, Azura could have just said, what is in your sleeve. Black soul gem fragmenting is a note I cannot read. It's all in runes. The Windhelm letters. The following transcribed letters were recovered from a strongbox found after a fire consumed a house in Solitude in the early part of the Third Era. Nobody by the addressed name lived at the home, and it is unknown how long the family had owned the strongbox. The letters are believed to have been written during the reign of Jarl Elgir the Unminded. Ooh, that's not a good name. Who ruled Windhelm in the Second Era, and about whom few other records are extant. My dearest Thessalonius, I hope this letter reaches you and finds you well. It is getting more difficult to find paper within the city, but I still save the scraps sent by the city's tax agents. I hope you don't mind a household reckoning on the reverse of this. Windhelm remains as cold as ever, but nothing compared to the heart of her king. Smoke and revelry rise from the palace daily, while we have little wood or coal to keep the chill off. I fear for the little ones, but they're so brave, having never known any other kind of life. We all speak of you daily, and hope that we may come to see you soon. Yours, Relia. Dear Thessalonius, your last message arrived safely, but the promised gold mentioned within did not. When I mentioned this to the courier, she shrugged and turned to the door with no other word. While hearing from you brings joy to us all, I would caution you not to trust that particular woman again. The minds of the city grow numb with cold and silence. We starve, and the unminded one makes no appearance, no speech, nothing to succor his people. His wizard has been seen walking the streets of the city at odd hours, visiting homes. I saw him paint some horrid symbol on one door. It dripped like blood before vanishing like sand in the wind. The next dawn, nobody who lived there still drew breath. I am a friend to one of the scullery maids who was sent to clean out the house. She described the most horrible things to me and the children, and I will spare you the details. The worst of it is, that was a house that supported the king. If that's what happened to his friends, what will be the fate of the rest of us? But don't let this shift your mind from its important tasks. We all know you work to free us and pray for your success and swift return. Love, Relia. This next letter was scribbled onto a piece of cloth with what appeared to be charcoal. Thess, I hope you didn't actually... Illegible. Efforts are important, but our sufferings must remain... Illegible. Retaliation can be swift and terrible. If you no longer care for me, at least think of your... Illegible. Love always. R. Dear Thessalonius, weeks go by and we have no word from Solitude. I tell the children that you're simply very busy, but it's getting harder to make excuses for you. If you could no longer send money, and I understand smuggling anything of value into the city has become a fool's errand, at least send word that you still live and work for the freedom of Windhelm. As regards your issue that I mentioned previously, worry not. With food shortages being what they are, I have removed it from my concerns. Always yours, Relia. My dearest Thessalonius, it was good to hear from you at last. Please forgive the rantings of a starving mind. We have at last depleted the basement stores of food, even with the strictest rationing. I see the little ones' faces growing thin, and my heart weeps for them. They are, in some ways, brave. I think they're looking after me more so than I them. Please come home. I strongly desire to look upon your face. Ah. Papa, Ma said to write you, so we love and miss you. Ma's tired a lot, but has lots of visitors, so we are being good and helping. Love, Stessel, and Shopper. Thessalonius. I don't have much time. The city is finally broken. The gates of the palace will not keep us out. The storming begins soon. I have gathered those who still have a spirit to live, and we are taking our own fortunes to hand. I hope to see you on the other side of this. Pray for us, as we once prayed for you. Your Aurelia. Follow the Daedric priest, Prince Azura? No, thank you. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe not. Okay, we are headed to Dawnstar.
Let's have a drink or eat something.
Okay, it's entirely possible my courier is bugged. I haven't heard from them lately. And there are a couple of things pending. So we may need to force advance some quests, but we'll see if it unsticks itself at some point.
Shit. Do we have to go this way?
What way? You mean to Dawnstar?
Aye, I don't care much for this place. It's not very hospitable.
I thought you'd love it here. Finally get a good porker sandwich, too.
Ugh. Don't be mentioning Hawker to me right now. You're gonna make me stomach go off.
Why are you being so weird right now?
Nothing. Forget it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right?
Have you been paying attention? I mean, yeah, the worst is pretty bad.
This carriage guards the others.
It's a curse. It has to be. I've got to get out of this town.
Irgnir, get a hold of yourself. They're just dreams. Please tell her, Erandur.
Listen to your friend, Fruki. They are just dreams, my dear. I assure you that it is quite normal.
It's the same dream over and over again. You think that's normal? It's evil, I tell you.
Erandur, she has a point. You keep telling us no harm will follow these dreams, but they must be an omen.
Give him a chance to speak. He's trying to help us.
Everyone, please. I'm doing what I can to end these nightmares. In the meantime, all I ask is you remain strong and put your trust in Lady Mara.
I will. Thank you.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire and I'll send someone over. Need a room? Don't worry. Nightmares don't seem to happen for travelers.
Sure, I trust you.
Mm-hmm. What troubles you, my daughter?
What's wrong with everyone around here?
The entire town is being plagued by horrible nightmares. They're in serious danger, but I'm afraid there's little I can do about it.
I love that he says that right after he tells them, hey, don't worry, I got it covered. Yeah, I don't like any of these responses. I take dreams very seriously. Particularly my character would also. Sheogorath eats people from the inside by inducing madness. It's much more insidious and painful than a sword. A sword can rob you of your life, but my father can rob you of you. So I'm just going to ask him, what could you do?
These dreams are manifestations created by the Daedric Lord, Vermina. She has an awful hunger for our memories. In return, she leaves behind nightmares, not unlike a cough marks a serious illness. I must end her terrible influence over these people before the damage becomes permanent.
What's your plan?
I need to return to the source of the problem, to Nightcaller Temple. Perhaps you'd be willing to assist me in that regard.
What do you mean, return? You've been there?
I've already said too much. If anyone overhears what we're saying, it could start a panic. I would simply ask that you trust me and help me end
This guy is
Dawnstar's
made
nightmares.
of sketch, but you don't have any choice. I trust you. How can I help?
Wonderful. My Lady Mara will be quite pleased. Nightcaller Temple is only a short walk from Dawnstar. Come, we must hurry.
In reality, I would never follow this guy to a dark place. Never. Who's the Daedric Lord Vermina?
Vermina resides in a strange realm known as Quagmire, a nightmarish land where reality shifts upon itself in seemingly impossible ways. From her citadel at the center, she reaches forth to collect our memories, leaving nothing in return apart from visions of horror and despair.
What does she do with the memories?
Who can say? Perhaps she collects them for display like works of art in a nonsensical art gallery. Whatever the case may be, her intentions are far from benevolent. I promise to answer all of your questions. Follow me.
Giants have been spotted up near Red Road Pass. Best to keep away and avoid it entirely.
Okay.
Follow me. It's this way.
While it's daylight, I'm going to run around and collect other quests while people are moving around town.
Need something?
August is one of those weird
Farewell.
merchants that doesn't actually... You can't invest in him.
Divine's sake, Scald. Who do you think we're threatening with our old war wounds? We're not soldiers anymore.
Your man Horik is wearing his old Legion armor. What should I make of that?
He's proud of his service, Scald. The Legion taught us loyalty, and we're loyal to Dawnstar.
This isn't over. I catch you sending one letter to General Tullius. I'll have you both executed.
Need something?
My life get worse.
What do you want, little elf?
I've been in... Unless you're here to solve this nightmare problem, I don't need you.
You are in danger. A vampire has infiltrated your court.
That's quite a bold claim. I'd need proof before I could possibly accept it.
Alright.
Don't bother me again unless it's important.
Yeah, he won't really talk to you or do much until after you have cleared Vermina's temple. Okay.
Can't sleep well no matter how much drink I put in me.
What is it? I haven't had much sleep. Until next time. If it's about the mine, I'm all ears.
I'm looking for work.
If you don't mind digging, I own the Quicksilver mine. It's a better life than working in that damned Ironbreaker mine with all those milk drinkers.
Okay.
Until next time.
God, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I helped my husband Rustleaf run the forge. He's a marvel with steel.
I'd like to make an investment in your
Excellent.
business.
I think you'll be glad that you made this decision.
Let's see what you can do with this.
Thank you. I'll be sure to put it to good use.
All right.
We forge every day if you need anything.
Muffin! Hey! Hello, sweetheart. It's good to see you.
You look
You
tired,
too.
little dragon. Let's take the day off. Let me pamper you and show you how much I love you. Everything else.
Evil.
Fucking wait.
Or evil.
If I get any rest soon, I'll count myself richer than a king. I mine, work the smelter. Ain't much else to tell.
Oh, that's a problem.
Have you ever thought of
Let's go on the invisible boat, folks.
just leaving the world behind?
Huh?
I don't know why this boat is invisible. Alrighty.
Fear not, come dragon or giant, will be.
The cool.
The mortar and pestle makes potions, if you can't tell from the name. Just step up to the counter. Keep a close eye on your companion here. We don't need his kind of trouble again.
Trouble? What are you talking about?
Not surprising he didn't tell you. The last time he was here, he drank an entire keg of ale, then decided he was hungry. Seeing as how he'd eaten everything poor Thoring had, he decided to go hunting.
Did he now? I don't understand how hunting is trouble.
Yeah, it is trouble when you decide to stampede an entire herd of horker through the center of town to the inn so that Thoring can make you a horker sandwich in the middle of the night.
Sorry, that's not funny.
Took off the next day and left us to clean up the mess. Took us weeks to repair everything they destroyed, not to mention shovel the steaming mess of horker he left everywhere.
I'll keep him close. I promise.
See that you do. Or this time it won't be horker innards we clean up. You have a lot of nerve coming in here after what you did.
All right, honey.
The mortar and pestle has cures for every illness, from ataxia to whitbane. No, I don't have anything for bad dreams, so don't ask.
I'd like to make an investment
How
in your business.
kind! At my age, I've certainly learned how to spend wisely.
Let's see what you can
More
do with
coin
this.
means more supplies, and that means more useful bombs, potions, and remedies for everyone.
How'd you pick up the herb trade?
My husband. We used to go out into the wilds and collect ingredients together. He used to call me his pretty juniper. It's quite romantic, if you're an alchemist.
Yeah, I get that.
Frost took the old fool a few seasons back while he was looking for the ring of pure mixtures. I found the ring's resting place after he died, but I'm far too old to go exploring some cave now.
I could find the ring for you.
Well, aren't you sweet? I'd be happy to give you some alchemy training in exchange for the ring if you bring it to me. If you find that ring, bring it here.
Your ancestors wouldn't want this, Silas.
Why should I hide from it? This is my family's legacy.
It's the past. Dead oaths on dead lips. Let it stay there.
The museum is opening, Medina. And here comes my first visitor. The Museum of the Mythic Dawn is open, friend.
Museum of the Mythic Dawn?
Yes. My collection of artifacts from a group that toppled an empire. Why don't you come in? You can browse the displays and we can talk. I have a job you look perfect for.
Sounds good.
Let's talk inside.
Yeah.
Feel free to look around. Come talk to me when you're ready.
Upon seeing the relics and banners of the Mythic Dawn, you hear the voice of their dark master in the back of your head. I will not accept Maroon's Dagon.
That job. That burned paper
Time
is
to
all that
steal
remains
everything.
of the fabled Mysterium Xerxes. Look.
I don't mind stealing from Silas, plus all this stuff belongs in my museum.
Blasphemous book written by Maroon's Dagon himself.
Well, me knees hit me right now. Fuck if the rest of me isn't loving the view.
Appears to be a bug that won't let me steal the page. I don't know why.
The commentaries on the Mysterium Xerxes were written by the Mythic Dawn cult leader, Mankar Cameron.
You make it seem so easy.
He the paradox awaited his followers when they died. That they would be reborn by Maroon's
I don't know why I can't steal that, but we'll try again later.
Did you have any questions about the museum? Or would you rather talk business?
Let's talk about the job you wanted done.
A little history first. After the Oblivion Crisis, a number of groups cropped up dedicated to wiping out the remnants of the Mythic Dawn. One of these groups found Maroon's razor, the artifact of Dagon. They split it into 3 fragments and pledged to keep them apart forever. That was almost 150 years ago, and the pieces are still being kept by the descendants of that group, and they're right here, in Skyrim.
You want me to get those fragments?
At least 2 of the owners, Gunzel and Draskua, are dangerous marauders, and the 3rd owner, Jorgen, I only know he lives in Morthal. Here are my notes about them. I'll gladly pay you for getting the pieces any way you can. No questions asked. Good luck finding the fragments.
What is it this time?
So, stampeding Horkers, huh? Frostbit arse?
You're not gonna let me live this one down, are you?
Highly doubtful.
What can I say? I'm a drunken degenerate. I repent of my wicked ways. Nah, that's a lie.
So tell me, how many Horker can a naked swordsman stampede anyway?
Oh, well, fuck. I'm going straight to oblivion for this.
Yes, love?
Silas wants help gathering the pieces of Maroon's razor.
He knows where all the pieces are. That's dangerous knowledge. You want to help him, don't you?
Help is a relative term. Better that weapon is in safe hands, right?
I'd be lying if I said I did. I wasn't curious to see the weapon. But listen, Maruna's Dagon is not a Daedric prince you want to get involved with.
What do you think of the museum?
Nothing I haven't seen before. Oh, it's a little twisted to put it all on display like that. What's next? Aye.
Kaidan.
Yes, love?
My dear, you must really like Horker.
Aye.
You almost inhaled the whole smoker.
There now, lass.
I don't know what that means. With your meat and your russet. Is that a potato? I don't know.
I love you. But no.
Oh, I like the shh. If only we weren't so close.
Gods, what did a scoundrel like me do to deserve someone as beautiful as you?
You're just lucky, I guess. I thought you'd like this. It reminded me of Dawnstar. Horker attacks.
Oh, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Are you good? Nothing's bothering you?
I need to trade
Give me the
some
stash.
things. Huh. Oh. Yeah, he doesn't have Horker attacks. Interesting. I have a book for you. Lusty Argonian Maid. Oh no, I just took that back. Sorry, I thought he would be able to read it.
All right.
Looks like he doesn't read it. Which is okay. It is so cringe. Ugh. Alright, I think I'm gonna do
I
Vermina
wasn't born in
first.
Skyrim, but when I served in the Legion, this land
That is the
became
main
so
quest that will allow you to become Thane. So I'm going to finish that first to see what opens up. That's the other kid that I usually adopt. There are 3 that I usually adopt. Lucia in Whiterun is usually first. There's the little flower seller in Windhelm, and that little boy who is essentially a child slave. I believe what I am going to do to relieve the burden upon my soul for not adopting them is to wait until the game is over, and we'll adopt them last thing when I know I can settle down
How about a
and be a
wager,
good
love?
mom.
Whichever of us gets the most killing shots today gets to call the shots tonight.
At the end of that, she will be
Let's do this.
good enough at magic. And she also will have met Sheogorath, and he won't make any indication that he knows who she is. She knows he's going back to the Shivering Isles, and it's going to be a very long time before he pays attention to anything. He doesn't know her in her form. She's no longer worried that he will harm those she loves.
Before we enter, I must warn you about the dangers that could be lurking within.
Could be.
Years ago, this temple was raided by an orc war party seeking revenge. They were being plagued by nightmares, just like the people of Dawnstar.
Were they successful?
No. Knowing they could never defeat the orcs, the priests of Vermina released what they called the miasma, putting everyone to sleep.
Why is it dangerous if they're asleep?
I'm concerned that when this place is unsealed, the miasma will dissipate, and they'll awaken. Both orcs and priests alike.
What does the miasma do?
The miasma was created by the priests of Vermina for their rituals. It's a gas that places the affected in a deep sleep. Because the rituals would last for months or even years, the miasma was designed to slow down the aging process.
Is the gas dangerous?
Sadly, yes. The longer an individual is exposed to the miasma, the more the mind can become damaged. Those who've been under the effect of it for extended periods of time have been known to lose their minds entirely. In some cases, a few never awoke at all.
Okay.
Once we get inside, all will become clear.
Not so much with the clear, but all will become. Thanks for watching. Wishing you found family, creative hobbies, a hot bath after a long day, and food you love as much as Saleya loves apple pies.